Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. So I'm going to be demonstrating for you how to create a long uniform layer. So a uniform layer works with following the head shape 90 degrees off the head. So this is what's known as a convex layer. So this look today is going to have the same section patterns as the previous video when we did the concave triangular layer. The only difference is going to be my cutting angle. So I'm going to section up the same by working the hair into the middle. So just in front of the crown, going into the back of the ear. I'm going to start at the crown, the same as when I did my concave triangular. My cutting angle this time is going to come straight out off the head at 90 degrees. Then everything's going to come up to the same cutting angle of 90. So in the typical uniform layer, this 90 degree off the head would then come through 90 here. As I'm following the shape of the head, which is round, everything's going to come off at 90. But if you can imagine, if we were to do that on long hair, I'd end up cutting off way too much of my weight and probably cut off the majority of my length. So when I get to here, this part of the head, I'm then going to bring everything else up to join the same as that. So that's my guide, and then I'm going to work this through using a pivoting section. So once I've cut that, I'm then going to come through and cross check. So I cross check by coming through the opposite way to how I cut it. It's looking good. So now I'm going to continue the same on the other side. Okay, so I've done one side, now I'm going to work through to the other. So I'm going to come back to the center where I started off the haircut. So I can check that's my angle there, coming 90 directly off the head. So I'm going to take some from my last section, some from the next section. Going to pivot that around. And again, I'm then going to come through and cross-check that by coming the opposite way to how I cut the hair. So if I cut the hair vertically, I'm going to come through and check horizontally. Right, so now I've done my back section, I'm now ready to work through to the sides. Much as when I did the triangular concave shape, we're going to work on the same section pattern and over direct everything back to center. The reason for that is, as I mentioned before, we want to keep as much weight in this front area as possible. So I'm going to bring this through to join to my back. I'm going to find my cutting guide, which is just here. Then I'm going to continue working my sections forward, over directing back to that first one. Then I'm going to repeat the same on the other side. So same as last time, I'm going to take my sections, all over directing back to centre, using the same cutting angle. So like with the back, I'm now going to come through and cross check both those sides. So I'm going to dry this off into place, and then I'm going to check over my haircut and texturize if I need to. Okay, so now I've finished off my haircut. I've dried it into place using a round brush, just to create a little bit of movement to that, and give me a little bit of volume and curl those ends under. So because of having over directed everything back to center, I've maintained the maximum amount of weight through here, and able to go through and remove maximum weight through this sort of back panel through here. So now we come through and personalize, and obviously check over our hair to make sure it's sitting where we want it to. So for me, when I was looking at the back, to me it felt that this top section was just a little bit too heavy, purely because this underneath section where the hair's very, very fine and fragile, I want to just make sure that's all blended through. So I'm going to come through, I'm going to find where my weight band is. So for me here, I've got a slight weight line just running through here. So that's the area I need to be working on. As I say, when I bring this down, that all sits perfectly. This is just a little bit too heavy. So you can see that's my weight through here. So that's the area I'm going to be working on. I'm going to come through. I'm going to bend my fingers. I'm going to come in, this is this way, and then back on myself. So I've got as much control over the hair as possible. And I'm going to just come through, I'm going to bear myself this way so you can see a bit better, and just personalize. That will just reduce some of that bulk. So come back down, see how that's sitting. So instantly you can see I've almost lost the unwanted weight area that I wanted. Looks like I might have a tiny bit through here. I'm going to come through and check that. So this is always very visual. You're going to visually check where you've got unwanted weight. It's looking much better now. Come through the same on this side, so I'm going to check this over. So it's me again, this is sitting a little bit too heavy through here. I'm going to find my weight line and just remove a little bit of that bulk. Being careful on the sides not to remove too much weight from the length through there. So I can see that's sitting much softer now. I'm going to repeat the same on the other side. So now I've gone through and texturized and personalized the haircut. I removed any unwanted weight I didn't want from parts. Very soft and subtle, so just to make sure it may look like you're just picking up the hair and cutting, but you're visually checking where those weight lines are throughout the haircut. If you remember from a previous video, I already cut the front section before it was in full graduation. So you just want to check how that's sitting, make sure that's sitting how you want that to. So come through here. So I've just gone through with the curling tongs just to sort of show you the difference with how great these type of layer works on a curly hair look. Because you say you do remove that much more weight with this type of layer, so it will give you a lot more movement. So great, particularly when you're working on sort of more curly hair types. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.